What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I've got a brand new video for you featuring the all new Roto Grip gem coming out sometime within the next month, I guess. I don't know, but I'm very excited for this release. Essentially, it's supposed to be a remake of the Defiant, pretty much. So super low RG core, high differential, super strong cover, and I've tended to like Roto Grip's releases when they do this to their high-end bowling balls. So I feature the gem, I throw a few shots at it, and I put it up against one of my personal favorites, my #1 gem, the Hypercell, which is pretty much the only comparable ball in my eyes, other than a Defiant. So we're gonna see how that one does against the gem. And I also got a couple shots of the Nova in there just because it's the newest big ball we have. So I just wanted you guys to see the difference between the Nova and the gem and the Hypercell. I guess if anybody else still has a Hypercell in their bag, you can check that out for yourself, see how maybe the gem would fit in your bag. For most people, it's going to be right at the top, because I think this might be the strongest ball that we've ever made. But let's get right into it. These next 10 shots are my first 10 shots out of the box. With one of my gems, I have two. I have one with a 5 1/4 by 4 by 2. That's the first one you're going to see, and then I have another that you'll see later in the video. It's a 4 1/2 by 6 3/4 by 2 1/2 buffer. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. So here are my first shots with the 5 1/4 inch pin gem, which is a pin over my bridge. And as you can see, I rip a 9 here. What I'm bowling on is the 2019 Open Championships team pattern, which is pretty juicy up front, probably about 39-40 feet. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that, but one thing I was excited to see was the ball slowed down really well crossing the lane. I tend to have a problem with pretty much any reactive ball not picking up early enough on especially medium patterns and just jerking off and going left. This one, as you can see, slows down and rolls off it. And spoiler alert, I'm going to reel off about a 9-bagger after that 9-pin. But you can see it just rolls so smooth and so forward. And one thing I was surprised I didn't see was the ball really deflect too much through the pocket, considering the angle I'm taking and for how strong the ball is. So the gem features the Microtrax cover, which is the nano formulation, I'm pretty sure. So a pretty successful cover stock. And that's also why I chose to compare it later in the video to the Hypercell, because the Hypercell 2 has a very similar cover. But the most interesting thing for me for this ball is the core. The core features a super low RG at 247, which I'm pretty sure that's the lowest we have in the line right now. So that'll enable it to pick up much earlier in the mid lane compared to any of our other big balls. For example, the Reality or the Proton, those are, I think, 249 at lowest, maybe 25 something. I'm not quite sure. But it's got a high differential as well, 053, and a 16 intermediate, which is moderate. But I think this ball is just going to be a next step up from our big balls like the Proton and the Reality. And I'm excited to do further testing to see how that ball compares to the Proton and the Reality, because those are obviously two very successful bowling balls. Anthony Simonson won the U.S. Open with the Reality. Chris has a lot of success with the Proton. He has a 300 on TV with it. So I'm hoping this ball can really stack up against those. And I'll have to test it on many more patterns. But so far, as you can see, I'm having no problem striking, getting the ball through the pins. And I'm really happy with it thus far. By the way, how about that jersey? Go to apparelefx.com and check out our selection of jerseys and use code MTAN for 10% off of your order. Shameless plug, hashtag bang bang. So here, just winding down my 10th shot of my first 10 shots. I think it's 10, maybe it's 9, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But what you're gonna notice next with the Hypercell and the Nova is that they're gonna be much sharper off the break point. That's because they're getting so much further down the lane because it's not using up as much energy as the gem is. So as you can see there, yes, I mean I got it a hair left, but still the gem was laying from that spot, and you can see that ball got offline super quick and left the 4-6, and that's the difference in RG. The Hypercell features a 252 RG as opposed to the gem's 247, and right there, see, I got it all the way right to the spot, and that ball kept going left where the gem kept going forward. So there's the main difference between those two balls. Next up, you're going to see an even bigger difference. Here I switched to the Nova, and with it being a slightly weaker cover stock and a hybrid as well, you're going to see it right here just snapping off of the break point. That's because it's retaining so much more energy than the gem was. So it's not going to be quite as good, and that's what I was talking about earlier, where I normally see my reactive balls do that on medium patterns, where they get all the way to this spot in a straight line and then go left off of it, and that's just not ball reaction you can have to strike very often. So here's the first look at the 4.5 by 6 3/4 by 2.5. This is a layout I've been experimenting with a little bit. The 6 3/4 mass allows me to get the mass bias a little bit straighter. So as you can see, the ball's much more tame off the transition from the mid lane to the back end. And you're gonna see the biggest difference upcoming here after this shot. I'm gonna go back to my 5 1/4 by 4 by 2 right here, stand in the same spot. And that's the biggest difference right there. That one is so much stronger in the mid lane, and it's because of the positioning of that mass bias. So here I think I ended up a good 8 and 4 left, and that's pretty much the difference between reactions. And here you can see the flare lines of the 5 1/4 inch. They're pretty wide, as you'd expect from an asymmetric bowling ball. And then here, with the 6 3/4 mass, you can see how much it tightened up those flare lines. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this format. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. And also, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications for my new videos. Hit the like button as well. That does something for the algorithm that I think is good for me. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you think the gem is going to fit in your bag. This ball is big wheel. Whenever I see soup, this ball is going to come out. Hope you guys all have a great day and own it.